Well, hi Bob, and thanks for joining us again for the week ahead. Pleasure to have you here as always. It's been a busy week so far as countries released inflation and retail sales data and PMI survey results. Is there anything left to be revealed to the public in February?
It's a relatively busy week for the US dollar. Key stats, consumer confidence on Tuesday, the CB consumer confidence figures, that's going to be a key area of focus, particularly after the Michigan economic sentiment numbers that showed sentiment waning. Focus will then shift to core durable goods, fourth quarter GDP, and the weekly jobless claims figures on Thursday. Expect, barring any material, downward revision to GDP numbers, expect the weekly jobless claims to have the main area of focus. And then at the end of the week, inflation and trade data along with personal spending figures will be another area of focus. Expect inflation and personal spending to be the key drivers. Obviously the dollar got a bit of a boost midweek on inflation expectations, so these numbers will be particularly key. Obviously a lot of it relies on demand. For the euro, German economy in focus in the first half of the week. We got second estimate GDP numbers for the fourth quarter and consumer and business confidence figures to consider. At the end of the week, French economy is in focus with consumer spending and second estimate GDP numbers also in focus, so expect plenty of interest there. For the pound, it's a relatively quiet week. Claimant counts and the unemployment rate in the first half of the week, those will be the key drivers for the pound.
So that's the major currencies taken care of. Is there anything to look out for with the commodity currencies moving ahead?
For the loonie, pretty quiet week. Market's going to have to wait till Friday for RMPI numbers. Those numbers will provide some direction that ultimately through the main part of the week, crude oil inventory numbers and market risk sentiment and sentiment towards the economic outlook will remain key drivers for the loonie. For the Aussie dollar, fourth quarter capex and January private sector credit figures. Capex is particularly important. Obviously we've seen business confidence on the rise, so that should translate into a pickup in business investment. So expect any disappointing capex numbers to test support for the Aussie dollar. For the Kiwi dollar, it's a busy week. We've got fourth quarter retail sales figures in the first half of the week, and then business confidence and trade data in the second half of the week. Expect all of those numbers to influence and provide the Kiwi dollar with direction in the week ahead.
Elsewhere, there's been no real big data from China or Japan, Bob. Is there anything we should be looking out for? Is it set to be more of the same in the upcoming week?
For the Japanese yen, market's going to have to wait till Friday for stats. That's inflation, retail sales and industrial production figures. Retail sales will garner the greatest interest, obviously with some interest in industrial production figures. Don't expect too much influence on the Japanese yen, however. For the Chinese yuan, there's no stats to consider. That leaves obviously foreign policy with the US and, general sentiment towards the economic outlook and COVID-19, the key drivers there. So nothing on the economic data front to spook the markets.
And as always, Bob, we'll finish with geopolitics. Is there anything set to grab the headlines in the upcoming week?
On the geopolitical risk front, as previously mentioned, one area of focus is US foreign policy and relations with China. Biden's obviously likely to want to rebuild relations with China while maintaining the US stance on trade and maintaining that phase one trade agreement and obviously wanting to probably build on that. Other areas of focus, we obviously saw events in Myanmar. Will there be a ripple effect within the region? There's been plenty of social and civil unrest that has escalated as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and containment measures and obviously the economic fallout. So those are the key areas of focus, I would say, in the week ahead.
Well, Bob, as always, thank you very much for speaking with us. We look forward to speaking to you again very soon indeed. And thank you everyone for watching. This was the week ahead. Don't forget to keep up to date with everything affecting the markets and the crypto universe as well. Head over to the Dukascopy TV social media platforms. Until next time, goodbye.